I just want to first ask you, why do you think that rape is such a big epidemic in the United States today?
Because I don't think there's enough accountability. I don't think it's a new crime, but it's a crime where there's very little accountability. Very few rape victims will even report the crime in the first instance, and when they do, they're not seeing justice. They don't see these cases being prosecuted where rapists are being incarcerated. If they report in the campus setting, they aren't seeing rapists who have actually been found to be responsible, even expelled. So there's no accountability, and so we're not defining this as the crime that it is. And there's just so little transparency that we really have to take a hard look at how we adjudicate these cases on college campuses and how we adjudicate them within the criminal justice system.
And just piggybacking off your statement about transparency, can you sort of compare and contrast military and campus in terms of secrecy or transparency in that aspect?
Well, they're very similar because there's no incentive right now for these institutions to get it right. For a college campus, they're barely punished if there's a rape on campus, barely punished if they're not meeting their Title IX obligations. And so it's easier sometimes for them to shove it under the rug, to either not address it or not solve the problem, and just actually deny that it's a problem. So what I'm trying to do through my legislation is flip the incentives to actually make it worth their while to get it right. And that's why an online campus survey that's confidential across all campuses will really give an accurate depiction of what's actually going on in each of these schools. Is it safe? And then second, to have real punishment if campuses are not meeting their Title IX obligations, to have real fines, the ability to fine them up to 1% of their operating budget, and really hold them accountable for not doing their reporting. Also, we need better training. A lot of these campuses, they don't know what they're doing, and so they don't have members of staff who ask the right questions in the right order and make sure that victim feels like she can be heard and to tell her story and to feel that justice is possible. The armed services is very similar. There's no incentive right now to get it right because right now commanders hold all the cards, and if they prefer a perpetrator in their unit over the victim, then that victim will be disbelieved and she may even be retaliated against for reporting a crime. So again, the incentives are all wrong in both instances, and you neither have transparency or accountability in either system.
And then I just want to talk about the statistic. I think it was 110,000 raped annually. Is that globally? Is that in the United States?
I think that statistic was a DOJ number for the United States. But what we do know is it's prevalent, and we know that it's real. And so we have to do something about it as a society. And I think the most inspiring part of all this is those survivors who have come forward, women and men who will tell their stories, really not just speaking truth to power, but actually reliving the worst moments of their lives so that others don't have to. That courage alone is changing the climate. Having advocates like Annie and Andrea who have started a movement campus to campus across the United States, asking survivors to tell their stories and hold their schools accountable is meaningful. It's actually making a difference. And that advocacy has really informed the legislation that I've written with Republicans. It's a Democrat and Republican bill, bipartisan, widely bipartisan, and I think has a real chance for getting past this Congress.
And just on this topic, one last question. So I have to ask, in terms of the exposés and the articles and Rolling Stone, what's your opinion? All that coverage, is it helping? Is it hurting? Just speak to that.
Well, I hope it's just putting more of a spotlight on the problem. I hope it's not undermining our advocacy because this is important. These are lives of women and men, young lives that are being destroyed and ruined because there is no justice if you're a survivor of rape, whether it's the criminal justice system or whether it's a campus adjudication process. And it's very problematic when we are not valuing our daughters and we are not valuing our sons when these incidents happen. We have to hold perpetrators accountable. And the other misconception of rape is perpetrators tend to be recidivists. They do this over and over again. They are targeting their victims in advance. They are predators. These are premeditated crimes. They're not hormones or the hookup culture or dates gone badly. These are predators who choose their victim in advance, use drugs and alcohol as weapons, and then will commit their crimes in a predetermined location under a circumstance they've all planned out. So we have to hold these perpetrators accountable, and justice has to be possible for the survivor.
Right. And this is just more of a woman in the world topic. What is the best advice that you have ever gotten that's helped you through life?
To believe in myself, to believe and know there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it, and that I should own my own ambition, that we have to own who we are and really fight for what we believe in, and know that our voices matter, that our voices actually can change outcomes. And when I realized that I could really make a difference by being an advocate, it was the most empowering thing I could possibly experience.
And what's one question every woman should ask herself?
What do I care about? What do I believe in? Where do I want to make a difference? And then know that that's important, and really own that ambition and own that goal for women to own their stories and to say, I'm going to speak out on this issue because I care about it.